It's no secret that I absolutely love Sakura Haruno. She is my favorite character in Naruto, if not my favorite character of all time. I mean, I have her tattooed on me, so I feel like it's safe to say that I'm a pretty big fan. When it comes to Sakura, she gets a lot of hate, probably one of the most hated mainstream female anime characters, I would say, and I think that the hate that she gets is deeply rooted in both misogyny and just pure misunderstanding of her character. Her character is written in a way where you have to read in between the lines to actually understand who she is, which is something I don't think a lot of people are willing to do, so I'm going to lay it all out for you so that you don't have to do your own research. But before we get into it, hi, my name is Ezra Faye. I'm a professional makeup artist, a cosplayer, and if you're a regular watcher here, you'll see a different backdrop. I thought it would be fitting to sit in front of my Sakura shrine for this one. I also want to say, while a lot of this stuff is my own sentiments and ideas, I did watch a couple of other videos that helped me with some of my arguments, and so the links for those videos are going to be in the description of this video if you want to go check those out as well. I should also mention that we're just going to be talking about Sakura and the hate that she gets in OG Naruto and Shippuden. We're not going to be talking about Boruto for much of this video at all. Even before I started watching Naruto, before I knew anything about it, the one thing that I did know was that people hated Sakura because she was defined as trash and useless. These are common descriptors for her, and despite that, I found myself absolutely falling in love with her right off the bat. And yeah, there are definitely times where I get some secondhand embarrassment from her and I'm like, oh my god, like please stop. Like, that aside, I think that the hate that she gets is absolutely unfounded. The theme that I saw when I was analyzing her character for this video was that there's not a lot to analyze in the source material, and so you have to fill in those blanks for yourself. You have to use what you do know about her in order to figure out what's going on with her in between. It's undeniable that she isn't written well. However, calling her useless and trash becomes obsolete when you actually take the time to use some critical thinking and make an attempt to understand her characterization. We're going to talk about some of the reasons why she gets so much hate, and we're going to break them down one by one. Of course, starting off with the biggest reason to hate her, which is that she's useless. People love to say that she's useless, and I genuinely don't understand this because she has amazing abilities, she's got that monster strength, and she has badass medical ninjutsu. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, how is that useless? The biggest thing is that she has a lack of screen time in comparison to Naruto and Sasuke, which can make her seem useless. Because there's so many blanks when it comes to her development and where she is and what she's doing, this can make people think that she's not doing anything at all. When you think of Naruto, you think of a long show that's filled with a ton of filler episodes dragged out over one plot point. Something to note here when it comes to these filler episodes and just the episodes that seem to drag on and on and on over one simple thing is that they often revolve around Naruto's training or focusing on what people like Kakashi and Sasuke are up to. We see Naruto learn all of his moves, such as the Rasengan, in real detailed time. We see Sasuke seeking out his power in his own way, and we see Kakashi have a ton of fights and troubles of his own and a whole backstory arc for him as well. All that to say, we're seeing these characters develop in real time. We see their processes of trial and error. We see them develop their skills in battle. We see how hard they're working. On top of that, a lot of this time is dedicated to their backstories and their internal monologues. And then there's Sakura. The first example that comes to mind is when she's extracting Sasori's poison from Kankuro at the beginning of Shippuden. There's this intense scene that really gave her the spotlight and showed off what she had been working on with Tsunade in between OG Naruto and Shippuden. However, we don't ever actually see how she learns these abilities. If there's little snippets of it, yeah, but it's nothing in comparison to the other characters and how we see their development. And so since we see so little of her development, it seems like her power just comes out of nowhere, and so it minimizes the appreciation that you have for her skills. We don't see how Sakura learns how to use the Byakugo. We don't see her training to get her monster strength hardly at all either. I think if we got the same amount of time focusing on her learning her abilities, it would help people to understand that it isn't just a convenient ability that she got for the sake of the plot, but something that she had to work just as hard as Naruto and Sasuke for, if not more. But we're gonna get to that. Obviously, Naruto is already long as it is, so giving Sakura her own training arc or her own set of filler episodes would only make it longer. But with the amount of filler alone, plus the amount of time spent on her fellow main characters, I'm sure they could have easily given her some of that time and still had plenty left over for the others, and they just didn't. And then we need to talk about her motivations. As someone who has a very deep appreciation for Sakura, it's easy for me to really be able to read into her character and figure out the different things that might make her tick. But even I have to face the fact that she was written in a way that one of her main motivators is boys. Two things could be determined as the thing that Sakura wants the most just based off of the source material. The first is Sasuke, and the second motivator is to be on the same level as Naruto and Sasuke. From the very beginning, one of the first things that we know about Sakura is that she's got this big ol' crush on Sasuke. Because it's one of the first things that we get to know about her, it's a defining trait. Just like one of the first things that we know about Naruto is that he's the Nine Tails, and one of the first things that we know about Sasuke is he's the sole survivor of the Uchiha clan besides Itachi. First impressions matter. And so when you have these big things for Naruto and Sasuke that kind of introduce them, and then Sakura's thing is, I like a boy, it really minimizes her and her motivations and makes her seem heavily insignificant right off the bat in compared to her male counterparts. Sakura is portrayed in a way that she's always chasing after Sasuke, but I don't think it's just as simple as chasing after the boy that you have a crush on. I think her pursuit of Sasuke begins in a place of having a crush as a child, but as she grows and matures, that pursuit evolves into pursuing Sasuke in order to give herself a sense of closure. Yes, she wants him to come back to the village and she wants him to stop his rampage, but I think it becomes more about herself than about Sasuke and being with Sasuke at that point. She wants things to go back to how they were before he left the village, even though she knows things would never be the same even if he did come back. But the hope of things going back to normal is what motivates her in that sense. She's tired of fighting, she's tired of watching someone that she cares about slip away, and she's haunted by the fact that she knows that Naruto is not going to rest until he fulfills that promise of bringing Sasuke back to the village, the promise that he made to her when they were kids. And she feels guilty for that. And while it may be selfish, it helps us to understand why her pursuit of Sasuke as she matures is not just about a romantic element. I think it's anything but that. I think something easy to take note of when it comes to this is just thinking about her inner monologues, the ones that we actually do get. When we're talking about OG Naruto, a lot of her monologues as a genin regarding Sasuke are like, oh my god, Sasuke's so hot, oh my god, Sasuke. But in Shippuden, when she's having thoughts about Sasuke, it's not, oh my god, he's so hot. It's more of like, I want him to come back. I want things to be okay again. I want him to stop this. It's not so romantic and boy crazy as it was when she was younger. And while I don't love that one of the main female characters is written to be driven by the desire to catch up to the men around her, I think it can be admired given the context. While in her genin days, Sakura can barely hold her own and definitely could fall under the useless category to an extent. She trains under the Hokage, she develops immense strength and life-saving medical skills, and becomes a pivotal piece in ending the war in the final arc. I think she's even better than Naruto and Sasuke in that sense because she does all this without having the powers of a tailed beast. She does all of this without having the Sharingan or any other kind of special clan ability, and she does it without being the reincarnation of an incredibly powerful being. She's literally just a girl. Her abilities can only be attributed to her hard work. And I'm not saying that Naruto and Sasuke don't work hard, but I am saying like they do kind of have a couple of one-ups that she doesn't have. She's driven to hold her own, knowing that she doesn't have those advantages so that she doesn't have to depend on her teammates to carry her. So again, while it looks like her motivation is to be as strong as her male peers, I think it can be admired when you consider her position. So let's talk about another reason that Sakura is super hated, and it's because people think that she's really annoying. Is she though? Or do people just love to find a reason to hate on women? Let's talk about her genin days. I can admit that she doesn't shine her brightest in her genin days, but honestly, what do you expect? She was a kid. Naruto was also super annoying as a kid, but people will jump to defend him. You can think kids are annoying because kids usually are annoying, but they're kids. When I was her getting age, around that like 10, 11, 12 age, boy was I annoying. Boy was I boy crazy. But again, like I was so young. The thing with the kids is they're still developing brains and they don't have the same abilities to think and reason as an adult does. So they're not going to get it right a good amount of the time. And so much hate from Sakura stems from how she was as a genin without giving her the benefit of the doubt or even allowing her to grow and change. And that's just weird. Even in Shippuden, she's just a teenager, and teenagers are also not fully developed. Your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25. So I think for people to be so harsh on her and use, oh, she's annoying as their supporting argument is a little strange. Even if we're just talking about a female character, we're still talking about a female. And I think that for people to be like, without taking these things into account is strange. It's like, why are you so hard pressed about a child, about a teenager who's learning and growing? And yet Sasuke does a lot of shit, and he was just a kid and he was just a teenager, but that's justified. But Sakura being a little boy crazy isn't. It's just tell me you're misogynistic without telling me you're misogynistic. It's fine. But another reason that people think that she's annoying is because, once again, her pursuit of Sasuke. It's okay if you don't like Sakura for how she is about Sasuke, but with anything, you would be mad at Kishimoto, not Sakura. I'm not here to say that Kishimoto is a terrible person or anything, and I'm sure influence from his editors played a part in how she was written, but I hate how she was so clearly written to revolve around a man. Kishimoto is clearly capable of writing dynamic, interesting characters, especially female characters as well. When you think about characters like Tamari, for example, I think that she's a really great female character. But it does suck that one of the main characters is so static at times and that it has such a stereotypical trope, and of course, it's the girl. I can't say that I love Sakura's obsession with Sasuke. In fact, I'm somewhat of a Sasuke hater myself, but at the same time, I understand it, and I'm sure a lot of other women do as well. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later, but just keep that in the back of your head. So let's talk about her relationship with Sasuke. So I'm not here to debate over Naruto and Sasuke versus Sakura and Sasuke. As a Sakura lover, I want her to be happy, and so part of me says if she wants that man, let her have that man. But that man does not want her. But if anything, I think that would bring more hate towards Sasuke than Sakura. I mean, Sasuke is objectively not interested in Sakura. You guys can nitpick and pick out the tiniest little interactions here or there, but I think like a wedding ring at least like 12 years into your marriage is like below the bare minimum. And even if you don't think Sasuke is gay, the things that we get sprinkled in where he may show an iota of affection towards her are way too little, way too late. The man doesn't come home. The man can't recognize his own daughter. The man gave Sakura a ring after they had been married over a decade. You know, below bare minimum. And I'm supposed to believe that he loves this woman because he gives her one little glance or he gives her the forehead poke. Like, even Naruto knows more about Sasuke's life and what he's up to than Sakura does. He's really not beaten the allegations. Yeah, it's below the bare minimum. That's like a nightmare. Whew, no. Like, no matter how much good fan art I see of Sakura and Sasuke, I don't see it. It's like, I wish I could make myself see it, but I don't. And I don't think that's Sakura's fault at all. I mean, she's the one who's raising a daughter by herself, maintaining a household and a full-time job, remaining faithful and loving in her husband's absence. She's doing everything that she's supposed to do, and she's doing it well, and people still hate her for that, which is just like crazy to me. Like, you guys just hate women is what it is. There's a lot of really good videos that go just into the depths of the ship alone. One of those videos I'm gonna have in the description of this video. And then another thing that we have to talk about when it comes to her being annoying, allegedly, is her dynamic with Naruto. She's much more of a best friend to Naruto than Sasuke could ever be, because she's the one by his side throughout everything. Sasuke doesn't really come back into the picture until he gets his ass beat. As a kid, she didn't really like him, but as she grows, their friendship grows with it, and they're able to understand each other better. I don't think anyone else really understands understands him like she does. The scene where she confesses her love to him can be really cringe to a lot of people, but it's actually so much more than that. Sakura isn't pursuing Naruto as a second choice to Sasuke. She's doing all of that because she wants Naruto to forget about the promise that he made to her to bring Sasuke back. She knows what's about to go down and she's trying to save him from that. She wants to ease his burden, and in her mind, getting rid of Sasuke herself would do that. Even though she isn't able to go through with taking out Sasuke, the fact that she wanted to do it for Naruto is truly selfless. And while the execution is flawed, maybe trying to kill Sasuke herself wasn't the best way to go about it, her motivation speaks volumes about who she is as a person and how she's changing. People love to be like, oh, she hates Naruto, she hates Naruto. She might have when she was a kid, but I feel like this, if nothing else, clearly proves that she's grown past that, that she's moved past that, that she sees him for more than just some annoying kid that she's stuck in a team with. I've also heard plenty of people try to say that she's abusive to Naruto, and first of all, I need you guys to stop acting like you recognize and care about true abuse, misogynists. Honestly, it's slapstick humor. That's just what it is, because Nami does the same shit to Luffy in One Piece, and you guys think that shit's fucking hilarious. So I think you're just using it as a supporting argument to hate Sakura. You don't actually care about abuse or abusive dynamics or anything like that. The reason why Nami gets a pass and Sakura doesn't is because a character like Nami is so much more sexualized than Sakura, and people genuinely like Nami. I think that the Sakura abuses Naruto claim is a last-ditch resort to get people to hate her. And I think the final reason that some people just hate Sakura so much, especially men, or view her with this misogynistic lens, is because Sakura is for the girls. She's not meant to be truly, wholly, completely understood by a male reader or a male viewer. Men hate Sakura for a lot of dumb reasons, but I think part of the reason that they hate her is because they will never truly understand her. She exhibits so many traits that so many women can resonate with, even if those traits are flawed. One thing about Sakura is that she's driven by the need to be better, which is good, but it's because she compares herself, which is bad. She needs to be good enough. So many of us women know what that feels like, to feel worthless if you aren't carrying your weight. She knows what it's like to feel second place, or to feel like you'll always be one step behind the people that you look up to or care about the most, and you feel like you have to work twice as hard. That really encapsulates a lot of people's experience with girlhood into womanhood. Another thing about her is that she loves with her whole heart, for better or for worse. I'm not saying a man isn't capable of love, but obviously if you're a man, you are not capable of loving in the way that a woman loves, and I think that womanly love can be detrimental sometimes, can be self-sabotaging. The reality of Sakura and Sasuke's romantic life is all too true for so many women. So many women have been in this place, myself included, where you're infatuated with this guy who doesn't give a rat's ass about you, to be obsessed with a guy who does the bare minimum. We're so in love with the idea of him. We're in love with what he could be, but what he never will be, because the saying, if he wanted to, he would, is so true, and let's face it, he's not going to. A lot of women know what it's like with these shitty guys to hang on to every word or every ounce of attention that we get and hold on to it like it's this precious treasure, because we need to convince ourselves that there's something there, even though deep down inside we know there's absolutely nothing there at all. And like Sakura, even when we realize that the guy isn't good for us, that he's toxic, or he doesn't care about how his actions or words affect us, it's hard to walk away. Even when we desperately want to move on, doing so is a lot easier said than done. As someone who's been in relationships like this before, it made Sakura so much more relatable and real to me, because when I first started watching Naruto, when I was really getting into her character, I was in one of these relationship dynamics. So being able to see it and relate to it meant a lot to me, and I think that sparked so much of where my love for her comes from. I think having characters that we relate to and see ourselves in and even admire is such a powerful tool in personal character development, as well as the way that it serves as a form of comfort. I'm convinced that men will simply never understand her personality, which is why she's subjected to misogynistic criticism. I think men hate Sakura because she evolves from this damsel in distress to someone who can carry her own and do it well. She has depth that some are just too blind to see. And I honestly think that the girl who loves Sakura are the girls who are some of the best girls you will ever meet. The girls that I have met that are big Sakura lovers and not afraid to show it are so much fun. They're so real and they get it, and it's some of the best conversation you'll ever have, not just about Sakura, but the way that it leans into girlhood and womanhood and all of that. Find yourself a Sakura stan and befriend her. I highly recommend it. I am also available. But yeah, I love Sakura so much. She means so much to me in ways that I can't even get onto paper, even though I am doing my best to explain it. She really was a great character to have, to look up to, and to have as just a small form of comfort in the phase of life that I was in when I first started watching Naruto. The timing was perfect. I don't know how else to describe it, but the timing was perfect, and I feel like really helped define who I am today. But let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna laugh at you if you come in my comment section with some kind of misogynistic criticism. This is only a rant for the men who desire to educate themselves, but honestly, if you still think I'm wrong, I don't give a fuck because I know I'm right. But if you have constructive commentary that you would like to add, I would love to hear it. I would love to know your thoughts. And if you have ideas for future videos as well, you can comment those, you can DM them to me on Instagram, or you can email me right here. And of course, make sure that you follow me on Instagram and like and subscribe so that you can become one of Ezra's faves, where I talk about anime and cosplay and whatever else I feel like talking about. But I'm gonna go because the wig headache is unreal right now. But before I go, can like show you some of the shrine really quick. Some down there. Yeah, I'm very proud of it. I need more. Okay,